Well, welcome back for the antenna series. This is the part 2 of the series. If you missed part 1, go ahead and find the link in the description below, or it might be popping up there if I remember right. But we are going to be talking about the radiation patterns for the 4 basic antenna types. We're going to be looking at the radiation pattern for a dipole, a vertical, a Yagi, and finally an infed half wave. And I got Paul to come on, and we're going to be showing the models for that. So let's go ahead and get to it. Hey, Paul, how's it going, man? How are you doing?
Hey Frank, I'm doing good. I'm ready to rock and roll on this antenna radiation pattern stuff. It's gonna be
And
cool.
oh, I'm so looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and give a little bit of background. What piece of software are we using to model this?
So this software is free. It's called MMANA-GAL. So MMANA-GAL, and the basic version is free. And you can pretty much model any antenna you want with the basic version. You don't need to pay for the upgraded version. And it's you got to learn it, but there's a lot of YouTubes out there that teach you how to use it.
That's awesome, and we're going to be it's going to be able to model the radiation patterns on each of these different antennas, and we're going to see the differences in how that pattern looks, so we can a little bit of validate what I did on the first video. Let's go ahead and get started. Which antenna are we going to be starting off here?
I think we're starting off with a dipole. I think this is
Yes.
just a 20-meter dipole. So I've got, we're testing it at 14.05 megahertz.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just doing free space. So we're going to see the entire antenna radiation pattern, not necessarily set up on a ground or anything. It's just, this is how the wire will radiate. And we ran the test. It cleared, no errors. And for this one, because it's a resonant size wire, it's only 1.43 SWR.
Okay.
So we're going to test this and then look at the 3D modeling. This is a wire cut
And
for 20 meters.
a dipole wire.
A dipole, yes.
Yep.
This is a dipole. So that's got the balun in the middle and then 2 equal length wires on either side. So inside here, you can see that turquoise little line in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the antenna on the Y, across the Y axis.
And then the Z axis itself is pointing directly up.
Yep, Z is up. So let's go back to the 3D pattern and see how it radiates. Now, the lighter this is, the pink to the kind of light pink, that's the most power. That's where most of your power is going. And then as you get closer to the blue is which is what's called a null. And you do want to see a null on an antenna like this. You want to see that so that it's not wasting any power here. Because you want all your power out here, right?
Yeah, because that's the end of the antenna, the end of the wire at that Y axis.
Yeah. Yep,
so
right there.
it's not transmitting out any direction of where your ends of your antenna is pointing.
Exactly. So you got one end there, if I can move this smoothly, and one end there. And so it's not radiating the direction of the wires where they point. It's radiating what do you call that? Broadside. To the broadside to the wire.
Or
look at
perfectly perpendicular.
Yeah. But look at that. That's a lot of great power going. So that's that's pretty directional, right? You could turn the wire and aim whatever direction you want.
Interesting. So yeah. So it's just transmitting broadside out. So if you want to hit the north or south of your areas, then you need to run your antenna system east and west. So your points of your wire are pointing east and west, because then your broadside will be north and south, and then that's where you're going to be radiating and be able to hear the best signals coming in.
Exactly. The same is true for east and west. You just turn your antenna point north to south, and then the broadside wire goes east and west. Europe, Japan, Asia, and all that you could hit if you're in the United States.
Oh, okay, cool. This is good information. I like this, man. Next, we're going to be looking at a vertical antenna, and we are expecting the radiation pattern to be going out in all directions. Is that correct, Paul?
You're exactly right. So think of the dipole we just saw that looked like a donut, and just tilt that dipole up vertically, and you should get the same pattern, right? It's a single element going one direction. Let's see if we're right. So there's our vertical. Here's the little vertical wires, that teal, kind of the turquoise wire here.
And a Z again is the perpendicular to your ground, so that's pointing straight up.
Yep, straight up. So if you notice, it's kind of like the dipole, right? It's just a single element like that wire, the dipole, but this is now vertical. So now you're radiating in a donut, kind of like laying on the ground. So you've got all around you. So this, just looking at those first 2 antennas, dipole, we can look at as directional, as you said. You can go east, west, or north, south. Whereas a vertical, you can set it up. And like you said earlier, too, you can pretty much get 360 degrees around you.
Oh wow! So that's probably like in a field day event or type where you want to get signals from everywhere.
This is a great antenna to try to get everywhere. This is what I have in my backyard is just a vertical antenna, and I pretty much get all around the world.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Next, we're going to be looking at a antenna that is built to be super directional, takes all the energy and just throws it forward, and it is the Yagi antenna.
Yeah, the Yagi antenna is definitely a directional antenna. Now you'll see a lot of these on towers and such that want to reach a further distance in just one direction. They're not trying to do like the vertical antenna and get all around them. They just want to go one direction. That's what you do.
And like I have behind me right here is a Yagi. That's the arrow antenna that are turned into the Christmas tree antenna. So let's go ahead and bounce to the model here.
All right.
And can you explain kind of what we're looking at?
Okay, now obviously this doesn't look anything like the other two, right? It's not. There's no donut shape whatsoever. So right here, again, up. This Z is up. All right, and you can see the turquoise back element. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of the pattern first. Let's look at the elements, because this isn't a single element. So see what we've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements, and like the antenna behind Frank there, they're all connected with some type of a rod or pole or something. So this one is not just one wire or one element like the vertical. This is using multiple elements harmonically to shoot a signal one direction. So now you see it's going along this x-axis, and when we pull up the 3D pattern, you can see, well, that's where the majority of the power and radiation is going, is the direction you want to go. So you could take this and you want to get someone far away, you can direct this to them and you'd get further range than you would normally get with, say, a vertical perhaps or a dipole, because it's using pretty much all the power one direction. And then you see back here, there's really nothing going back. This is pretty much a null on this back part. Now you could still here and maybe get out a little bit back here, but the point of this is to go this direction.
So the elements themselves, can we go back to the element view?
Yeah, let's look at the elements.
It's hard to see here, but one of the elements in the middle there is going to be the driven element. And the elements behind it are going to be longer than that driven element, and they're going to reflect the signal back at the driven element. And then the other elements are more focusing the signal forward. And the last one, I think it's called the director. I might be wrong.
I think so. Yeah.
And it's the shortest one. And all those additional elements you can have a simple 2 to multiple. And if you're going to be doing a moonbounce, you're going to have a lot of them, because you want to take that signal, focus it so far tight so it doesn't spread out as much. The more elements help you focus that lobe forward even tighter. Is that right?
Yep. And I think yours, this has 5 elements. I think that one behind you has 6. So like he's saying, there can be more than 5 or more than 6 elements.
7.
Oh, he's got 7. So, or you could even have a Yagi that's got 2 or 3 elements. So there's a lot of choices when it comes to Yagis.
These antennas are great for satellites. They're great for moon bouncing, fox hunting, because they're also super directional. And if it's light and portable, you can turn it with your body and also help prevent other signals coming in and locate hidden transmitters.
Yep.
These are the fun. You can also have them in HF, where you get them up high and transmit your HF signal out into one area if you're trying to like target Japan or Europe or another nation.
Yep. You get a lot more forward power, the direction you want to go.
Up next, we're going to be talking about the most used wire for parks on the air. It is an end-fed half-wave. Paul, what are the characteristics are you seeing with this antenna system?
Well, an end-fed half-wave, like you said, is widely used on parks on the air, widely used in general. I use it a lot. It's a simple antenna to make, and it's a simple antenna to put up. You don't need a lot of space. But again, this is a single wire, again, similar to the dipole and similar to the vertical, where it's a single element. But we're going to angle this one at a 45-degree angle and just a few feet off the ground. So it's going to give us a little bit different radiation pattern than the vertical or the dipole.
We're looking at the wireframe now, and we see the antennas running on the positive x-axis, and up is Z still.
Yep. This is about a 45-degree angle, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, and we've added a little counterpoise. So
we should
let's
make
go ahead
Ape
and
happy.
yeah, Ape will be happy about that. We have it, Ape. Now let's look at the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So again, here's the wire. And because we're so close to the ground, you're getting this kind of a high angle radiation off of the broadside of the wire. So it's kind of radiating in this direction.
It's kind of like bouncing off the ground a little bit and giving it a bias in the direction of where you slope the antenna down.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can see the null here. And so it's because you're so close to the ground at an angle, it's reflecting off the ground and giving you this not vertical, but a good high angle approach. So you could, get a lot of people closer, perhaps.
And we kind of called this the gumdrop here.
The gumdrop. We like the gumdrop.
But it's also you were having a lot of power also to the Y.
Yeah, you can look at the Y as well. So you're not just going one direction. You're the least direction you're going is this way, but everything else from this Y side, X negative to Y negative, all
X
this
negative, yeah.
Oops, yeah. All this, if you think of like a compass or that 360 degrees, you're getting at least over half of that directional, somewhat directional.
Beautiful, beautiful. And it's also the easiest, like we said earlier. You can lean it into a tree or get it up in the tree somehow and just have the slope coming down. The feed line to this antenna system is on this model is the ground connected and just kind of thrown on the ground. I do like to have it 3 feet in the air. I don't know why. I just, it's nicer to me. But we modeled both of those and it didn't seem to change anything.
And everyone can see when they look at your previous POTA videos, the end feds and stuff you put up, you just put the end of it up in a tree or something, and then bring that the other end, connect your coax, and it can be sitting just a few feet away from you if you're doing QRP.
I just want to get it off the ground. I don't know why. I just don't want the coax in the ground and the connectors, and I
think that's a good idea.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Paul, for coming on and sharing this.
You're welcome.
Let's go ahead and just get a little bit more information about you, and where can we find more about you?
Well, my channel is Prep Ham Paul, and I pretty much stick to just live streams every Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Central. And I do videos occasionally, but my live streams are either a ham radio topic or a preparedness topic. And I just try to get people to come online and talk about those two topics and learn together.
Awesome. I appreciate it. But once I get back from the family times coming up here at the end of January, I'm going to be going to a park and I'm going to be running these 3 different antenna systems. I'm going to be running the dipole, I'm going to run the vertical, and I'm going to run the end-fed half-wave for a set amount of times. And I might live stream this because I want more interaction with y'all, because this is not going to be the typical POTA setup. I want multiple contacts. I want you to come in, give me a contact on the antenna system, and I'm going to announce, cool, I'm on a new antenna system, and I want you to come back and give me that contact again if you can hear me, because I want to see the differences in between each antenna system. On one, you might not be able to get me, but on the others, great. Or I got you on all 3 because you are in that awesome area. I don't know. That's what we're going to be doing to find that out. Paul, if you're available, I'd love for you to come down and hang out. And you know what? It might be easier to have multiple operators that day, because then we might we could sidestep the multiple dupes in the logs if we just switch operators. We'll figure it out.
Fun.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you to all my channel members and supporters, also the Patreons. I can't do this channel without y'all. If y'all want to support me, links in the description below. Watching is support enough, and if you do have the funds and time, and just give me a little bit. Y'all are awesome and amazing. As always, go forth and conquer.